I've been thinking about what you said before on the national debt and the economy collapsing. I was worried then. Can you tell me just how the economy will collapse?
Sure. According to the John Safer, there are 13 steps in the collapse of the economy. First, imports to the country increase drastically as exports decrease. Second, the Federal Reserve introduces more money to lend, as the number of individual and corporate borrowers soars. The stock market goes up, saturated by investment money as the bubble gets bigger. Third, imported goods are preferred over domestic goods, mainly because of price but for other reasons as well. Borrowing continues to increase. Fourth, money pours out of the country as more and more imports pour in. Credit becomes tighter as there is not enough money left to keep the economy running as it should. Fifth, the reduced amount of money causes a reduction in capital expenditures, which in turn causes recessions. Many businesses close or downsize, and layoffs increase. Sixth, banks stop lending money because they are afraid of the increasing bad debt. Seventh, credit dries up. A lot of small businesses go bankrupt. Unemployment increases, as more and more people get laid off. Eighth, the stock market bubble pops, and it plunges into a deep bear market as the conditions become worse. Ninth, people with paper money start storing it away and not putting it in banks. Some people even withdraw their savings from banks to keep it on hand. Paper money stops circulating and disappears, then depression sets in. 10th, cash becomes scarce as banks limit withdrawals to try to prevent runs. 11th, a lot of banks become bankrupt because of bad loans and bank runs. Inflation rises dramatically. 12th, paper money owners start getting rid of it in exchange for hard assets. Suddenly, there is more money in circulation than there are goods to be purchased, which causes hyperinflation. And finally, the government tries to allocate scarce resources, and the black market for goods increases. At this point, the economy as we know it will have collapsed entirely.
Where are we on that list?
Let's see. The country now imports most of its manufactured goods. The Fed has introduced a lot of money into the system, first with the stimulus packages, then with the quantitative easing. We are in a recession, but the stock market is going up, fueled by investors using the money the Fed introduced. Companies are not expanding but are shrinking or closing, so unemployment is going up. Also, companies are hoarding cash. And banks are not lending money as easily as before. We are somewhere between step 5 and step 7.
Now I'm worried again. Can a complete economic collapse really happen? Has it ever happened before?
Yes. It has happened numerous times in recent history to several countries. Weimar Germany, Turkey, Argentina, Zimbabwe and others have had their economies collapse. They experienced hyperinflation, scarcity of necessary goods, and black markets. In fact, Zimbabwe's inflation was so bad that they actually had to print $100 trillion banknotes for circulation.
But their economies collapsed for different reasons. The United States does not have the things that caused the economic collapse in those countries. Why will that happen here?
That is true, but every country's economy is affected by different things. Our economy is collapsing because of the debt crisis. First it was the subprime mortgage crisis of 2008, now it is the national debt crisis. If the national debt continues to grow, it will cause the economy to collapse the rest of the way.
Now I'm really worried. What can I do to prepare myself?
There are 3 things you need to do to prepare for the coming economic collapse. First, get yourself out of debt.
Well, my car is paid for, and I pay off my credit cards every month. The only money I owe is on my house. I don't know if I can pay it off before the economic collapse.
Many people are like you and owe money on their house. Unless you suddenly become rich, that's probably the best you can do. Second, you should buy some hard assets like gold and silver.
Why is that?
Even in the poorest of economies, gold and silver are still recognized as good money, even if a country's regular money is no longer worth anything.
But isn't the dollar the only recognized money here?
You can always barter with gold and silver. But some states are currently looking at making gold and silver legal tender again, and Utah has already done so. When the economy collapses and the dollar becomes worthless, gold and silver will still keep their value and can be used to buy the things you need.
Okay, I can buy some gold and silver. What is the third thing?
You should build up a stockpile of food reserves.
Why is that?
Everybody needs to eat, even after the economy collapses. But after the economy collapses, food may not be easy to buy, and even then it will be expensive. Many of the companies that make the food and the stores that sell the food will probably go out of business during the earlier steps of the economic collapse. That will cause food to become scarce and its price to increase. Having a stockpile of reserved food will let you continue to eat well after the economy collapses.
That is smart. How do I build a stockpile of reserved food? Do I just buy a bunch of food at the grocery store?
No, that is not a good idea.
Why is that?
Food you buy at the grocery store cannot be stored for long periods of time. The economy may collapse this year, but more likely it will collapse a couple of years from now. If your reserve food expires before the economic collapse, it will not do any good.
So how do I build up a stockpile of reserve food?
You can start buying reserve foods from the GoFoods Global. They have many different foods that are easy to prepare, are reasonably priced, and best of all will last up to 25 years or more in storage.
But are they good?
Yes. In fact, my kids keep wanting me to serve the GoFoods for supper because they like them so much.
That is what I need for my stockpile of reserve food. How do I buy from the GoFoods Global?
That is easy. Go to the website at www.mygofoods.com or click on the link below. You can see all of the different foods available and read about their nutritional value, and you can order them right from there. There is also a video that tells more about GoFoods. Best of all, you can get a sample pack with 12 servings of the GoFoods foods and beverages for free.
That is what I need to do. I'll go get my free servings of the GoFoods and start building my stockpile of reserve food now. I only wish I had talked with you sooner. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a nice day.